Okay, welcome to part 2 of my little 32-in-1 overview. Let's go to our next game, Pinball. And I just recently did a review of Pinball on the NES, and this is pretty much the same game as that, so if you want further details on that, or my thoughts on this game, you know, there's a review somewhere on the channel. In the meantime, we're going to play a bit of Pinball. It's actually a fairly simple, fairly basic game. It's essentially pinball. It's a pretty fun game for the most part. There's not a whole lot to it. It's a pretty simple, pretty bare bones game. But the funny thing about that's rather interesting, rather nice. The funny thing with these simple games is that they tend to be the most addicting because they are pretty easy to get into. You know, use the D-pad for the left flippers, the buttons for the right flipper, and you know, you get yourself some points, and you get a whole bunch of stuff. You complete a bunch of objectives, and that results in different effects happening on the board. And that's kind of a nice little feature. And you also have a little bonus game, which is rather nice. Anyways, nice. Oof, almost got the bonus game, and I lost. Well, fun game for the most part, but let's move on. Next game, we have Battle City. This is another game that's common on most multi-cart games. It's a pretty simple tank game, as we're going to find out right here. Anyways, this is stage 1 of Battle City. Don't recall if this was ever released stateside. I kind of doubt it, but I could be wrong. Anyways, the whole idea is that you have a bunch of tanks showing up. You have to blow them all up. You have to defend your base, represented by the eagle emblem on the bottom. Of course, as you saw, I killed a flashing boss, flashing tank. I mean, excuse me. That gives you power-ups depending on the power-ups. And oh shit, almost got him. See, if the eagle were to bite the dust, it'd be game over regardless of how many lives you have. It's sort of like Space Invaders if the invaders land on your soil. And you have a bunch of destructible environments. You could blow up the brick walls. You can also, there's also like water terrain and forests where you can hide yourself, and there's like ice sheets. Quite a bit of variety, quite a bit of fun actually. And there's also a construction mode where you could create your own levels if you so desire, which is a rather nice feature. Anyways, I just got these tanks left to go. The layout's pretty simple for the most part. You have on your right side, you see there was the dwindling number of tanks. Those are the amount of tanks that you have to kill off in the level. And as you kill more tanks, they appear legit. So now it's doing a brief tally of the gameplay of all the tanks that I killed off, and I'm gonna commit suicide. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's what happens if your eagle bites the dust. Then it's game over. The end. No more. Nice game over screen. Next up, let's power up. And yeah, this is a no-brainer. This is Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Now, I also did a review on this version of Pac-Man for the NES some time ago. It's a pretty solid port for the most part. I've heard people say that this is actually slow in comparison to the arcade version. Yeah, I could sort of see that, but on the other hand, it's Pac-Man, you know? I think it's kind of hard to fuck up Pac-Man, in all honesty. And, you know, say what you will about the 2600 version of Pac-Man, about how it doesn't look like Pac-Man or anything like that, but it sort of had the basic premise down pat. You had to eat all the Pac dots, you eat the energizers / power pellets, which turned up Ghost Blue. You eat them for bonus points while they're in this vulnerable state. I almost ran into the ghost. That's kind of smart strategy there. Okay, so we're gonna just run this game. We're almost done. Almost done. Finish this off and yes! Stop this game immediately! There we go. Okay, so next up, baseball! I don't like baseball at all. And we have a whole bunch of random letters. Baseball. Play ball. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this as quick and painless as possible. Oh, Christ. I actually had one. Oh. Nice, I actually made it at second base. Ball. Nice. Foul. Not really much I could say on this. I don't like baseball. Out. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Make a run, make a run, make a run. Nice. I made one run, I'm happy. I'm gonna end it here. Next. Ice Climber. Again, no title screen. This is another favorite that they... Yeah, that's really smart. You can't skip the cutscenes, but you could pause during the cutscenes. That's just brilliant. Because we're really not going to miss the cutscenes. I have no idea why people consider this a NES classic. Because... yeah, obviously, I get to whack seals in this version. Funny thing being, funny story with Ice Climber. I've never actually played the localized version of Ice Climber, ever. Every instance of Ice Climber on the NES that I've played, it's always the import multicart versions. As you probably already know, in the localized versions, they replace the seals with the snow creatures of some sort. I don't like this game. You know what? Screw it. The problem with this game is mostly the jumping, but the best part of the game is when your Eskimo character is crying. And no, enough of this. No. Not a big fan of Ice Climber, sorry. Road Fighter. This was a Konami arcade game. It's actually on a Konami arcade compilation on the DS. If only I knew the name of that compilation right off the top of my head, but I don't, so I'm gonna try to I will endeavor to make it through this. Probably won't. Well, I've done it a couple times, but for the most part, I'm generally crap at Road Fighter. But it's pretty much the same game as your usual racer type game. You know, you just gotta make it to the finish line, avoid the cars, try not to crash into anything. Because you lose fuel if you crash into anything, and if you lose fuel, like that, you lose 5 points of 5 fuel points. And it's not my day. Not my day. I'm usually a lot better than this. Okay, that's actually a lie. I'm usually not a whole lot better than this, but I'm usually a lot more competent at least. Anyways, can I at least make it to the finish line? No. Well, I'm never gonna finish now. Oh, might as well just keep going and oh, well, I don't know how I crashed. That's a crash. Yeah, I don't care anymore. I'm done. Not a bad game, but on the other hand, my gameplay sucks in this, and I apologize for that, but it's not a bad game. Speaking of games that I suck at, here's Excitebike. Yeah, I'm just gonna fiddle through this painfully and suffer through it just to show some gameplay, but it's Excitebike. If you played Excitebike before, and if you're good at it, it's pretty much the same game here. So, anyways, I have no idea how to play this, and I'm not going to try to disguise that fact. I'm pretty shite at this game, and the only reason I'm playing it for an extended period of time is just so I could get some footage out of it and say at least I played it. But I'm pretty shite at this game, as you can probably tell. I'm just waiting to crash. Overheat. Well, it's not a crash, but it's good enough for me. Next. Turn this on, and we're gonna go with Load Runner. Yeah, Load Runner is another game that I don't particularly care for. And people consider this a classic, fine. But I was never able to get into this one for a simple reason that I'm quite frankly not as good at it. It always puts me to sleep for some reason, I don't know. I just wait for these guys to move. Gold. Doo-doo. Anyways. Oh, goody, we actually made it. That's rather interesting. Rather nice. Yeah, it's alright. Not one of my favorites, but it's okay. Anyways. Yep. And if you press select, you actually could just flip through the stages, which is rather nice. But I'm not going to do that because I want to play something else. So, anyways, what's next on our list? 1989 Exerion, which is another game that apparently we never got. Now, it may not seem like it, but this is actually a hacked version of Exerion. Or Exerion, if you want to call it that. I'll probably change either way. You basically got two types of shots. You got this double shot thing, which, you know, is a single fire, and then you got a single shot, which is a rapid fire shot. Now, the rapid fire shot, usually you have in limited quantities, but in this version you have unlimited rapid fire shots. Which I never really noticed until I played another multicart that had Exerion on it. Exerion, I believe, is available on one of the homebrew sites that sell like reproduction copies of various games. I think Retro USB is selling copies of Exerion 1 and 2. So if you're willing to check that out, it's a pretty fun game. It's sort of like Galaxian or rather Galaga, except it has a backdrop. And it's a rather fun game, and so fun that I'm going to play something else. Anyways, Load Runner 2, which is I think the real name is the Championship Load Runner, and it's Load Runner, except it's 4 times the fun. Or rather, it's twice the height of a standard Load Runner map. Yeah, anyways. Sorry, folks, but if I don't care for Load Runner regular, I'm not gonna care for Load Runner Championship, anything else. So, yeah.